dissecting 3 issues in this particular episode. And you know your boy's ready. Hey, what are we dissecting? Number 1, the Jabulani Khumalo Siphithiphithi. That's number 1. Number 2, the consequences if the ANC does a deal with the DA. And number 3, the moral hazard created by the markets and the voices of the markets trying to determine what elected officials should choose. Let's go into issue number 1, Siphithiphithi 1. Hey, we've seen a lot today. So, as you know, Jabulani Khumalo says that, you know, he's the real leader of the MK party, that he didn't really resign from the leadership position, that his letters were forged, etc., etc., that when he was making speeches in public saying that I wrote 2 letters to the IEC and that Jacob Zuma is the real leader of the MK party, that somehow when he was making those videos in 4K in front of the Abantu fam, that somehow, somewhere, someplace, all of that didn't happen. So there's been allegations from members of the MK party that this man, he got a Land Cruiser from some dealership and that Land Cruiser changed his tune all the way. And as a result of that Land Cruiser incentive package, the Ankole package, that all of a sudden that this is the motive for doing this. So I don't want to talk about the Land Cruiser story because I don't know. You don't know. We don't know. All we know is that today, the leader of the MK party, as he was leaving, you know, typically when politicians go to courts, like Julius Malema, when he goes to court, there'll be a stage set out by the party. You go outside, you say a few words. No, we will win this case around the issue of, if it was Julius, it would be, what was this thing that he was fighting recently right now? AfriForum. We have beat AfriForum in court. It would be that kind of a situation, you know. You speak to the people, you tell them, white monopoly capital will not defeat us, etc., etc. That's if Julius was at the court, right? But no, Jabulani Khumalo, he came out of the court and his fans, you know, the members of the party, they ran towards him. You know, like, just we want to talk, our leader, our dear leader. He saw them and he drove off. That Land Cruiser was moving so fast that he actually hit 2 cars on the way out. I don't know if the insurance covers any of that or what the arrangement is, but it's just an interesting piece of Siphithiphithi that we are seeing in this current dispensation, in this current age. I mean, how does it work again? And what is his aspiration here? If you cannot even have the chutzpah to talk to your people, the gumption to talk to your people, the gonads to talk to your people, how actually are you going to lead them? How are you going to give instruction? So let me give you a case study and tell you why this has all been happening. When the Zimbabwean elections concluded, a gentleman called Songezo Chabangu actually started issuing letters recalling members of the CCC party, which was at the time led by Nelson Chamisa. He claimed that he was the Secretary General of the party and that he was justified in removing them. And guess what? He succeeded. And many of those members of parliament lost their seats, and ZANU-PF in the by-elections then won their seats. And then a few months later, fast forward, Chabangu is now the leader of the CCC party. And the accusation is that he had been working with ZANU-PF all of the time to help them get a 2/3 majority, which they now have. If you recall, ZANU-PF was invited by particular individuals with large farms which sell particular breeds of animals to the international community, including people